Yo, I'm so mad. I've been positioning, obviously, voting against Trump, voting against fascism, voting against the lesser of two evils. And yes, Biden is pretty evil, but I just realized something that was buried deep in my consciousness, and that is that our greatest threat isn't even Donald Trump. It's not even, I mean, I guess Republicans, but technically Republicans. It is a bigger force that has been dictating conservative policy for decades. This is the American libertarian. Think of the libertarian as the extremist version of, if you have a problem with communists because you think they're extremist and their nationalization and public ownership of everything. Libertarians are the extremist capitalist version of that, so they want everything privatized. Sorry, I'm kind of angry, so like my words are like getting like that. But they want everything private. They want corporations to be at the forefront of independence and self-regulation, and this is what the Chevron um thing did. That it literally removed expert opinion from like the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and is going to leave the expertise of determining what is appropriate, such as aviation rules, to the courts. To the fucking courts. They don't even know constitutional law. How will they know environmental? I know constitutional law. I do not know environmental. Mostly because it's not my interest, but I'm sure it's not the interest of judiciaries anyways. Who the fuck are these trolls? Libertarianism is a political stance generally known as about an idea of individual liberties, responsibility, self-ownership, and free choice. It says the government should have less control over the lives of its citizens and should let them be responsible for themselves without the involvement of government, which is great, why, right? But the thing is that libertarians expand individuals to include corporations. This means that all of this isn't for you. It's not for me. It is for corporations. It is for CEOs. It is for shareholders to benefit, maximize profits above the people. Now, why is it that Republicans are challenging and succeeding in holding back some part of Biden's SAFE plan, the student loan relief? Because if that goes through, that means that Mohela, which is a Missouri-based student loan company, will not get funds, because if you relieve if you relieve that from Americans, that means that they're not going to be paying as much to Mohela, which means they will be losing out on funds, and as a result, the state will be losing out on funds because they banked on the fact that students will be in debt forever. So now they expect to get that money. Why is it that California can not have affordable housing? Why is it that Americans in general cannot have affordable housing? Because if you reduce the rents on places that are in collaboration with the government, that means that real estate and property owners will have to reduce their own rent. That means less money. That means less profit. So it shouldn't be done. Why can we not regulate the cost of pharmaceuticals? Because then the companies won't make as much money. Why can't we have universal health care? Because then insurance won't make as much money. The hospitals won't make as much money. It's literally corporations being put at the forefront of true American individual liberty. So we get to suffer in order for there to be a maximum profit of these companies. And that is why they are dissolving these protections, because then we're literally a pyramid scheme. We pay into taxation. That taxation goes into the portfolio of our government and Israel and other projects like the border wall, shit that will maximize the benefit of those companies, such as construction companies, those who will be rebuilding Gaza. It's ridiculous. We built $1 million pier, now it's no longer there. We just throw money for the facade that it's helping domestic, but it's not. See, I took a course like 3 years ago, Hillsdale College, which is a conservative Christian college. I just took it because I just kind of like taking courses. I know I'm fucking weird, but I like taking courses, and I mean, I can think. So even if I take a conservative course, I'm capable of deciphering between the truth and things that are extra, such as it was a really good class on American constitutionalism, but they had this very much obsession over trying to um force the viewer to have a bad perception of the administrative state, which is literally like EPA, any sort of protection for anything really, and the institutions, because these are experts who know their role, who know their specialization, and they're the ones who expand on what is bad, what is good, etc. But they made it very clear that they want to eliminate that. And that's what Chevron did. This was like 3 years ago. And what that tells me is that it even existed before that. So what that tells me is that Donald Trump is not the leader of Project 2025. Donald Trump is not the leader of what's happening in the court cases. He is just a tool. He is a tool to get to what libertarians have wanted to, an ultimate libertarian utopia, where it is conservative libertarianism, corporations who dominate the profits of what's going into the United States. So it's going into the pockets of the few. And this is what makes me angry, because if it's not just Donald Trump that was at the forefront of pushing this, but it happened before, what the fuck were the Democrats doing? Not doing shit about it. What were they doing? Obviously, they don't care, because they don't care to fucking resolve. They don't care. And now I have to vote for them. Now I have to vote for Biden for it to not get worse, even though I do not believe in the lesser two evils. But this is the thing. It doesn't fall on Donald Trump. It's been a campaign that has been going on the conservative level for decades. And Democrats have failed to safeguard us from it. They've been succeeding. They've been playing the long game. And they're succeeding because Democrats don't have the backbone to stand them down. Now I'm going to be forced to vote for the cadaver, Joe Biden. But I need you to understand that the reason why all of this is happening isn't literally because of Donald Trump. It is because conservative libertarians have been playing silent the long game, and Democrats have been too busy with their own ego and pride and electioneering of making sure that Democrats win at all costs, even though they're not resolving our actual problems, like codifying Roe versus Wade when they had majority. They didn't focus on these things because they thought they had time. They thought they could just force us to vote for them whenever, and then conservatives would just keep pushing and not succeed, but they're succeeding. But it's not because of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a tool that convinces people to allow them to do that. It's been happening for a long time, and Democrats have not protected us. Don't forget that. Democrats have not protected us from the libertarian agenda. Libertarianism is just the extremist version of if you dislike the whole communist extremism, libertarianism is the capitalist extremism. Yet our founding fathers assured we're knowledgeable in the fact that extreme capitalism, absolute free market leads to exploitation because there's no rules and regulations to protect the individual people. Now, this is why Citizens United passed in 2010, because obviously who's giving money to the justices? Who's giving money to politicians? Now, Biden is only aligned with what he's aligned because of money. Because who's going to pay his campaigns? Who's going to pay the campaigns of the Democrats? Democrats aren't against Citizens United. They're against conservative special interests giving them money. But they're not against progressive special interests giving Democrats money. So what Citizens United did is that this definition expands to corporations. Okay, it expands to corporations. So literally, let's not reduce, let's not make housing affordable, because then real estate and property owners cannot inflate that price, cannot take advantage of people who cannot afford housing, and then you'll just get homeless. And then the court said that you can literally prosecute people for being homeless. So it's literally us being forced out of the constitutional social contract and being replaced by corporations and those wealthiest. This is the United States of America, people.